Hi everybody, a very good evening, good morning. Hi, how you doing? I'm Jashin Kapani. I'm the founder and CEO of Amrecon Design. We're in the business of designing and manufacturing home and office decor and interior solutions. And it's almost the end of Sunday and a Monday, and it would probably be Sunday for a lot of people. So hi, how you doing? Hope all well, and I hope you're having a blast and enjoying yourself and stuff. And I'm the founder and CEO of Arm Decor Design. We're in the business of designing and manufacturing home and office decor and interior solutions, where we have lamps, mirrors, consoles. We have other products like center tables, consoles, corporate gifting items, and more. And since it's a Sunday, I've been taking it easy and stuff, and it's been a fantastic day today because after maybe 10-15 days, many of us are back to our spiritual practice of Buddhism and stuff, and watching movies and kind of chilling and enjoying with the match and everything. And now comes one of the exciting parts of the night or the day for a lot of people, is to be reading a good set of lines from a book which I really like, which is Ikigai. And Ikigai, which is talking about positive psychology and stuff. So the Wimbledon match is happening, and it's a pretty kick-ass event to watch, and kind of indulgent and stuff. So from that, I'm inspired because we've got Djokovic not playing this year and stuff, and looking at his graph of victories and stuff like that, and the injuries and everything that he's had, it's obvious and apparent that it's the positive psychology and mindfulness and meditation and stuff which has kept him going and kept him balanced. And since I follow this school of thought of mindfulness and Buddhism, and I do other things as well, it is very important to understand that Ikigai and positive psychology plays a very important role in the lives of a lot of people, because they say that a person who's got a negative attitude has lost half the battle, and a person who has a positive attitude has already won the battle and stuff. So overall wellness is a very important aspect, and everybody is kind of working hard, and they're in the gyms and they're looking after themselves, and people are in fitness, people are in yoga, people are in other activities and stuff, because they want to remain fitter and active. And yes, younger, why not? I mean, it's a long life, so why not? And why not take good care of yourself and stuff? Because you don't want to be like a crybaby, or you don't want to be, like sitting on a wheelchair and complaining that you can't walk and talk and stuff because you didn't exercise when you were younger, or take care of yourself. So this set of lines is damn neat. It's from this guy who's Sigmund Freud, and he's basically talking about the change of direction in this career. So, like many people, he'd been on a sabbatical and he was working in a hospital, and he was studying effects of cocaine on mental health and stuff. So, it was very interesting work for him, and he was trying to understand human condition. He quit his job of the hospital and he started a private practice at home. And he shares that he practiced on studying and treating the nervous disorders and stuff, and he realized, and he came to the conclusion that it was basically psychology which was kind of playing a very important role, and it was helping develop the reputation in his circle that science is something which fixes people's mental and emotional abnormalities and issues and concerns and stuff. So, on a lighter note, he talks about medicine that could help the average person, but what was really very crucial and important was that he kind of had this exposure to psychology that provides path to help people deal with mental illnesses, wherein new ideas had begun to emerge in mental wellness and awareness. And this new area of psychology had kind of opened up opportunities for science and research to improve emotional and mental health. And I see a lot of people discussing online and offline, and even when you meet them, they're not very kicked, or they're not very enthused, or they're not very excited about positive thinking and stuff, because they think that it's not I mean, they can't imbibe it. But the point is this: you can actually practice to be a positive thinker and stuff. And why is positive psychology so important? Positive emotions are really very important as per science as well, because these are the emotions that make your life worth living and stuff. And he's talked about this one experience where he's coined the term positive psychology, which came up in 1954 to explain that actually human virtues and inspiration and aspirations function better when people are more positive and stuff. And there is more potential, there is more optimism, there is more stuff happening, there's more adventure, there are more improved relationships, there are more opportunities happening. And such people who are positive and optimistic don't get bogged down very easily by any small illness or looking at age or whatever, because they've already understood that yes, they have to go with it, and they're preparing themselves as life is kind of I won't say throwing, but life is kind of every day kind of giving them different experiences and stuff which they notice around them. Say for example, if I'm in Buddhism, I see there are lots of people who come with issues like backaches and surgeries, and they have financial issues, and they have addictions, or they're not finding jobs and stuff, but they've joined the practice, and positive psychology has kind of helped them because they've understood that it's not just them but it's also the world. And what was really outstanding for me was to see that a person who's basically lost his mother-in-law in his 90s, and he'd lost his daughter many years back in a road accident, has also joined the practice and stuff. And after he joined the practice, he feels that his loss and his grief is so small compared to what other people have in the world and stuff. So he's moved out of a sector. He's been a hero for me because he also looked after the stray dogs and stuff. But after joining the practice and stuff, in his own words, he feels that I think his suffering or his loss is much less than what other people go through and stuff. So that's the kind of realization you get when you join a practice like mindfulness or positive psychology. Is your focus is not just on you. Your focus is not just on your immediate family, or just your small world, but it's a bigger world. And then you kind of realize that if you were to kind of think about it and think through it in a stable fashion, your challenges and your issues are much less than what the world has. So, so I like this set of lines because it's also kind of telling us to develop and work on actions that improve our overall well-being. And there are different stages. So it's not just about appearance. It's not just about your skin. It's just not about your hair. It's just not about your front. It's just not about your back. But it's the overall persona, and it's the overall setup and stuff. Because as you have experiences coming to you, you can't get bogged down by little challenges that happen, and you can only surpass those, and you can only come out a winner or a victor when you kind of focused on the larger picture, which is taking action, focusing on solutions, which is kind of also focusing on optimistic outlook to life and stuff. And when you're doing that, you kind of start working towards choosing circles and activities and people or circles which bring out the positive emotions, and you are kind of doing away with the negative. So there are so many tendencies, and there are so many relationships that you have to kind of face. Like I've had this phase where some of my closest of friends of childhood and I are no longer friends and stuff. But when I look at it in the hindsight, I kind of think that if I was in that circle, then I would have had a very disturbed or a pretty negative, outlook towards life and stuff, because there were relationship issues, there were money issues and stuff. And I think the day I started looking at my life and not looking at what those people were showing me, I kind of had this third time or fourth time realization that it's very important to focus only on your life and your blessings rather than comparing and stuff. Because when you get into that, it can be disastrous. And a beautiful life, or a big house, or a number of cars, or a number of children, or number of dogs or cats or whatever, does not necessarily mean that people are happy. Happiness is something which is subjective, it is relative. It's got to be absolute. No matter what you have, what you lose, what you gain, if you can be still happy, that's the day you will say that yes, the purpose of life has been accomplished. And no suffering, no pain, no issue, no circumstance kind of bothers you so much, because through positive psychology, you already understood that there is so much more beyond the little zone and the little domain and stuff. So you make new friends, you meet new people, you go to a hospital, you go to, like, let's say AIMS, where I've kind of been a number of times and stuff. You look at the people there, you go to a slum village, you go to old age home, which I went many years back in 2007, you'll have realizations that, you know, your world may be much better and you may be much more blessed than many people, you know. And there are people who have children who leave their parents in old age centers, and they have some parents in my neighborhood living alone, and their children are in other cities and other countries. So there's no not much happening, you know. So you have to understand that there's always a blessing in how life kind of takes the course, and you can drive it. And if you have more of positive psychology and more of optimism, then your life gets even better, because rather than sitting and thinking about losses or illness or sickness or whatever, you will start appreciating your life. And when you start appreciating, that's when more positive things happen to you. So take care of yourself. I'm Jashin Kapani. This is actually a classic book. You must read this. You know, it's called Ikigai, and it's on finding your life's purpose, which is your superpower and stuff. So lay your hands on this. Get it. You know, read it. It's a different one. It's not the pink one that I've showed you, but it's amazing. And also, it's got a lot of insights telling you that yes, you have to love what you do, and you're gonna have to focus on something which you're consistently good at, and you always have to be open to learning and do more of what the world needs, and also do what you can be rewarded for, and reward yourself daily. So when I hit the gym and do an extra exercise, or I get back to something which I've been avoiding, I think I shared this before, but I'll let you know again. I pick up maybe an outfit or something, or maybe a piece of jewelry, or maybe something or the other which kind of makes me feel good and stuff. And then I tell myself, okay, I'm going to go back, and you know, like maybe a month later, I'm going to kick ass and I'm going to do something else, and I'm going to pick up something else, you know. So that kind of has a multiplying effect on my joy and happiness as well, because that's the incentive, or that's the award I give myself. You know, I buy a t-shirt, or probably I'll buy a shirt, or maybe I'll buy an outfit, or maybe I'll buy a pair of slippers or whatever. And yes, I can see the accumulation of those items in my room and stuff. But that's what life is for, you know. I mean, you earn to kind of enjoy, and you enjoy because you're earning, you know. So keep the flow steady of positive emotions, and keep that balance between feeling good and feeling great, and enjoying what you do and do what you love. So take care, have fun, and thanks for your likes and messages and stuff, you know. Bye bye, cheers.